One of the issues I struggled with writing Crazy Jane was the issue of point of view. First person or third person, what was I going to do? I started the book off in first person and I wrote a chapter or two from Sam's point of view. And I thought that was going fine, but then I thought, well, maybe I should do it in third person. And I wrote at least a few pages in third person. And I said, no, first person. I was pretty lost with it, so I decided to consult with one of the experts. I looked at this book by John Gardner, The Art of Fiction. He's a very well-known creative writing teacher as well as a writer himself. He was quite opinionated about these matters. He says, first person locks us in one character's mind, locks us to one kind of diction throughout, locks out possibilities of going deeply into various characters' minds, and so forth. He likes the traditional third-person omniscient point of view in which the story is told by an unnamed narrator, a persona of the author, who can dip into the mind and thoughts of any character, although he focuses primarily on no more than 2 or 3. He thought that would give the writer the most flexibility. I said, okay, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to go third person. But then I thought, maybe John Gardner missed out on a particular novel. I remember reading, it starts off this way: you don't know about me without you have read a book called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, but that ain't no matter. You have a problem with that first person diction? It's the diction of a barefoot, barely literate 12 or 13-year-old boy named Huckleberry Finn. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's just charming and delightful, as millions of readers have found. Also, later in the book, we see Huck Finn going down the river on the raft with Jim, who's trying to escape slavery, and we hear the thoughts of Huck Finn as he's thinking this over, because his brain is saturated with the social mores of the day. This is pre-Civil War, and he has learned that to steal Jim from his rightful owner is a terrible thing, and he's going to go to hell for it. So he's full of guilt, and at one point he decides, one night going down the river on the raft, he's going to write a letter home and tell people where they are on the river so they can come and capture Jim and take him back to his so-called owner. But then his mind floods with positive thoughts of what a kind man Jim is, how good a person Jim is. And he tears up the letter he's started to write, and he says, well, I'll just go to hell. Now, do you want that put in third person? I think so. I think it's just perfect the way it is. So I said, okay, I'll do it in third person, but I continued to go back and forth. To explore this further, I went back to Mark Twain in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which is written in third person. And here's the advantage of third person. Here's chapter 1, page 2. Tom, as you may recall, is being raised by his Aunt Polly. It opens up with Aunt Polly running through the house looking for him because he's in trouble again and he's trying to get away. Twain says about Aunt Polly, she was bending down and punching under the bed with a broom, and so she needed breath to punctuate the punches with. She resurrected nothing but the cat. Now, if Tom Sawyer were telling this in his 12 or 13-year-old boy diction, he would not say she needed breath to punctuate the punches with, and he certainly wouldn't have come up with this sentence, she resurrected nothing but the cat. How did Mark Twain even come up with that word resurrected? I imagine other writers saying she found nothing but the cat, she discovered nothing but the cat. But no, she resurrected nothing but the cat. That one word choice is a good argument for third person point of view. Eventually I did go with third person. That was my decision. But that leads to another decision point in writing. Well, I go with third person limited, just from Sam's point of view, or third person omniscient, where I can see into more than one person's mind at the same time. A great example of this is Tolstoy in Anna Karenina, where he shows Anna and her lover Vronsky having a conversation. And on the same page, sometimes on the same paragraph, he shows you what Anna's thinking and what Vronsky's thinking. I said, well, that would be good. I'll just show what Sam is thinking and then what Jane is thinking. But as I developed the character of Jane, I said, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to limit it to what Sam is thinking. Why? Because Jane is a little mysterious. She's a little mixed up. Sam sometimes wonders, what is she thinking about me in this relationship? And is she really in it? Is she committed or not? She has a lot of trouble staying in relationships. And what is she going to do next with her political protesting? Because she doesn't always communicate well with me. I want you to wonder with Sam what's going on in Jane's mind. I don't want to tell you. I want you to struggle with Sam a little bit. I want you to suffer with Sam and feel his pain a bit as he tries to figure out, what is Jane thinking after all? So that's what I did. I went with third person, but third person limited. Now, once you go with third person anything, of course, you have a choice. You can also have a narrator step in and make some comment from time to time. A lot or a little, it depends on what you want to do and what kind of personality the narrator might have. And I'll talk more about that next time. Thanks so much for listening. See you soon.